Hey, what's up guys? This is Brian at WhisperStatus74. Welcome to the community, welcome to the channel. If this is the first time you are seeing me, please consider liking and subscribing. We're Real Tech for Real People. Today's video will be a quick one. It's actually one of the first substantial price drops in the high end for displays. It is the Sony Z8H 8K Master Series LED at 75 inches and the Samsung 75-inch 900 TS have both dropped about $500. Now, it is a substantial price drop considering where those panels first started when they were released a year ago. And I'm only letting you know as I do these Best Buy videos every week, but I can miss a little bit of a price drop. You know, they change day to day. So the question you have to ask yourself, many of you, is what are you willing to invest in? And when you buy last year's flagship, it's always a little bit dicey. I mean, Samsung had the 950 TS also that has the one connect box. The 900 TS is substantially cheaper. At 85 inches, I believe the 900 TS is still, 950 TS is still about 10,000, 11,000. But the 75 Z8H has become pretty affordable to many of you, being off about $500. So, which is pretty crazy considering that 4K TVs a number of years ago at 75 inches were $4,000. So it's almost getting affordable in some ways. It was stuck at $5,000 for a long period of time. So was the Samsung. To have them drop at the same time is very interesting. We'll also show you some footage of both of them in store. But it's interesting when you compare these two panels being complementary. They're both considered kind of flagships. I know the 950 TS is the flagship of last year, but they're being replaced. The Z8H was put in a weird spot, being sandwiched between the Master Series Z9G. The Z8H is also a Master Series, and then you have the Z9J. So it's a little difficult to recommend these panels, not really knowing what the Z9J has to offer in terms of its peak brightness and its real feature set. It has HDMI 2.1, it has 4K 120. It isn't, from what I understand, going to get the variable refresh rate and those other gaming features. Apparently, only the 900H in that group is going to receive those updates. Samsung does have that. However, Sony does have Dolby Vision. They both look excellent. I will say that I think the A8H has a better viewing angle off to the side. You can see some bluing angle. There is on the Samsung, there is a little bit more blooming, but they both look amazing and they are both down about $500. So the reason I'm doing this video quick to jump in is we talked about prices perhaps not dropping drastically simply because we're seeing panels being delayed. We're seeing release dates being staggered, but you have to know every year Samsung doesn't exactly drop out their whole lineup, or Sony doesn't release the entire lineup. At least last year it was staggered. You had the 950H, the A8H, the 900H all released at different times. You had the A9S released later. You had this the CX released at different times. You're going to see that again this year. It's just hard to judge what is a good value. The 8K prices coming out are also going to be very expensive. The 4K prices that we're seeing are somewhat reasonable, but keep in mind, guys, that 4K is being phased out. So it sounds like it's a bargain, but again, it's being phased out. And are you ready to upgrade to 8K? Is 75 inches large enough for you to go 8K, or are you going to wait till they're affordable at 82 inches or 85 inches? Not to mention, if you're a Samsung fan, are you looking more at their, their mini LED line? Do you not want to buy an LED from them? These are all very interesting questions. I think they're both very high quality panels. I will say, for me, with both of them, I would like to see, and I know a lot of us that were LED fans, I want to see us approach that 4,000 nits that we were always hearing about, or at least 3,000 nits. Now, I know they're capable of doing them on very small windows for very short periods of time if they're in vivid mode, but many of us had hoped to be at that point. The Z9G was capable of 4,000 nits in certain situations, so we'll see. You know, I want to know what you guys think, if you would consider going for these panels. I do think as these new displays are delayed or their prices are perhaps too high, many of you are going to look back, as it always is in TVs, to last year. Now, firstly, we're taking a look at the Sony Z8H, which is now $4,499.99. It was about $5,000 for the longest time. And here is the Samsung 900 TS. They're actually back-to-back in my local Best Buy. We're going to pan around both of them and show you the different stylings of both. They've been running, at least Samsung's been running this same demo on this particular panel. Behind it on the far wall is the 950 TS, which is 10 grand. You can tell the differences in the style where it has that middle stand and it leans back, where the Sony has this very low profile stand, which you're going to see more of this year. Just going over a little bit of the marketing that they have there. Full array. It is a master series. It does not have the backlight master drive of the Z9G, and you know, it doesn't have the new cognitive processor as it was last year's model. The Z8H just has a very clean, natural look to it. It is a very striking panel. This low profile stand you're seeing on the newer panels as well. I will tell you, as somebody that likes to review these panels, we don't like these stands. I can't lift the TV. Can't get underneath it. Very wide profile. You know, low profile, but very, very wide. You will need a very wide stand to sit it on. They are gorgeous. You know, Sony to me has that cooler, natural, accurate look. Now it is full array, so it is a good deal thicker, I should say, in the back or to the side. You can see how thick it is. It's almost twice the size of the Samsung, though the Sony does look better off angle. You can see the HDMI ports there. Again, you'll have 4K 120. You can tell by the Master Series, you see those cube back. Those is a trait that all Master Series have versus their regular panels, which are just plastic and flat. It's a stunning, stunning picture. I do think it will fall a little bit more as the Z9J launches. It's a lot like watching stocks. Again, to me, it looks better off angle. I don't always love the X-wide viewing angle on either of these panels. There's the back of it again. See the Bravia. I don't like the diminishing of contrast ratio. But if you have a large room, you know, viewing angle is very important. What do you think of the design of these panels? They're very different from one another. Again, very low profile. It's almost flush with the stand. Again, very difficult to lift it, but it is beautiful when it's sitting there. Where then you have the Samsung, which is just getting close to it. You can't see any pixels. But where the Samsung is more of a leaned back, thin, bezel-less design. It's got a more sleek look. It actually almost looks a little bit smaller, but they're both absolutely gorgeous. But where are you in this part? And there's the price of it dropped as well. Where are you with 8K? Are you ready to buy a last year's 8K? Or do you want to hang back and see what modern 8K, meaning these new 8Ks, are going to provide? Now, you will see some blooming here on the Samsung. It is more evident off angle, and it's more evident on camera. The Sony doesn't seem to have as much of that, but on angle, it's very nice. But where are you guys with it? Will you jump into 8K this year? Will you be looking for a cheaper 4K? You know, that's what I want to hear from you guys in the comments. The Z8H is excellent. So is the Samsung 900 TS. What are your thoughts? Let me know if this price drop is attracting you to both these panels. Again, they both have HDMI 2.1. And they're both very different in different ways, but they are both beautiful. All right, guys, I will see you in the comments. Take care.